let's begin with the Mariners and also some history. I mentioned the history. Bryan Woo sets a T-Mobile record. He pitches a record 32 1/3 scoreless innings. He was amazing last night, Jake. It's not a Mariners record, by the way. That belongs to Mark Langston. Langston had 37 scoreless innings at the Kingdome back in 1988. But Bryan Woo continues to dominate at home. He hasn't been great this season on the road, but Jake, at home, Bryan Woo is in the groove right now.
I want to say he is our best pitcher. I want so bad to definitively say that he's our best pitcher. I love the way he controls the game out there, his attitude. But you said it, Chris. I mean, his road versus his home, batting average, the other team, let's see here, T-Mobile Park, the opponent's batting average 154 on the road, 284. Here's the thing that got me. I looked this up. I had no idea. He is a meltdown in the third inning. This is his sticking point. At home, in the third innings, Chris, his ERA 0.0, on the road 9.5. So he's got so close of an effort ahead of him to just become that best pitcher we need him to be.
I don't want to play backseat manager or general manager, but that's what we do on this show.
Yeah.
Maybe when he's on the road, you piggyback with him.
He might be the piggyback choice. Started in the third inning, maybe, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
But, we need him to be on his game in order, I think, to make a deep run. Look, we just have to get into the playoffs and let these pitchers cook.
And if you're home, if you get in the playoffs at home, I mean, Bryan Woo, game one, I'm fine with that. Jake talked about him learning, breaking down what's working, what doesn't. Obviously, things not working have been on the road. After last night's game, Bryan Woo talked about his approach in this game.
I just wanted to get the off speeds going just a little bit more, either early or late, whatever it was. I just wanted to throw them more. I feel like that was the only thing, was just didn't feel like I was using them enough for how good they've been feeling lately. So just get them more involved in the game plan whenever it was. The fastball's been really good, but I feel like the fastball is good because of the involvement of the off speeds and using them in different spots.
Another just great outing for him tonight in that regard, and it's great to feel comfortable at home like that. And when you got the big crowds that like we've had here the last couple of nights and throughout the season, it's great to hear that when he comes off the mound there, when you go to the bullpen to hear how they respond to that. And he's used that energy very wisely and has done a great job here at home. And tonight was just another example of that.
When I hear him talk, he is so in his head. He's such a thinker. I don't know any other pitcher on this team especially that really kind of thinks through the game in this very dramatic sort of way. I think he's this close to hitting the switch and just being an elite pitcher.
Yeah, no, and I think we said that. I think before the year started, I think this is your potential Cy Young Award winner now.
Right.
Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert have been very strong, and this is the great problem that the Mariners have. They have very good pitching, and there's a lot of people out there that thinks Luis Castillo should go to the bullpen. Maybe he should, but take a look at his last 6 outings. He's actually pitched 5 very good games. So this is why I continue. It's a roller coaster ride watching this team every single night. But why I continue to believe this team will make the playoffs and make a run is because they have pitching, and they have more of it than any other team in the American League right now.
When he's at home, he's a Washington crisp cosmic apple. On the road, a bruised banana.
Was that a Washington State apple, by the way?
Took me a while to think about that.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right, let's talk some offense now. The offenses look like a bruised banana at times, but cosmic crisp last night. The Mariners 12 singles and a double last night. Colt Emerson had 3 hits. Julio Rodriguez had 3 hits. The Mariners scored 8 runs with just 1 extra base hit. No home runs. It's the Mariners' most runs scored without a home run since 2022 at Kansas City. Jake, let's say this. The team is fighting for first, and so far this season, Cal Raleigh hasn't been great. Josh Naylor hasn't been great. Brendan Donovan, a non-factor because of injuries. Julio has been up and down. Being positive here, those are 4 big offensive weapons, and they should all be better in the second half, which will help this offense a lot.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, Brendan Donovan, a non-factor because he hasn't been playing. And so I think once you get him in the lineup, there's going to be this extra spark that we've been missing. When it comes to on-base percentage, Chris, the team right now is .313 on-base percentage. Brendan Donovan was .386 before he got injured. So he might be that spark you need. You got to get guys on base. His batting average was above average when he was playing as well. Look, this team is one game behind 500 right now. One game up on 500, I should say. Last year at this time, they were 3 up. So we're right there, and we made it to Game 7 of the ALCS. So there's a lot of time to play.
And if you missed the show yesterday, Justin Hollander talked about Brendan Donovan. He says he is getting better. At the end of this homestand, they will determine what to do with him. Sounds like he'll be headed out on a rehab assignment very soon, hopefully after this homestand. And then the Mariners are on the road for 2 series. Then it's the All-Star game. So I would expect Donovan to join the team after the All-Star break. Now, the young guns will also be key in the second half of the season. Colt Emerson, Cole Young provide energy, excitement. They also play great defense, and they can also hit. Cole Young, yes, Cole Young leads the Mariners right now in RBI. He has 1 more RBI than Julio Rodriguez. Colt Emerson only batting .218, .295 on base percentage. He's only 20, and he's getting better each and every night. Last night, 3 hits. I mentioned it. Last night, he was also 7th in the order. When he bats 7th, he's hitting .308. Colt Emerson says the offense will start taking off. Just be patient.
We're just building momentum, and even in the games in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, like a lot of balls hit hard, a lot of great at bats, just things just weren't going our way. But yeah, we're starting to see the results come through, and we know our process. We know everything we're doing is going to lead to wins. So I think you're just now seeing the results, and it's cool to see a lot of guys are working super hard behind the scenes. A lot of guys are staying committed to their plans, and it's cool to see, and a lot of great bats tonight. It was such a good game.
Hits with runners in scoring position, took advantage of opportunities that we were given, and particularly the bottom of the order, some big hits down there, driving in with some 2-out runs, and but all up and down the lineup, I thought guys did a great job. We put some pitches on Soriano, and then got to the bullpen. I thought it was a outstanding job to we got the 5 runs, we got the lead. They took 3 back the next inning, and then we took 3 back with an answer back right there, which I thought was big.
We start the show talking about you coaching the little leaguers and these future stars. And obviously, when you think of the Mariners, you think of the big stars, Julio Rodriguez, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, the pitching staff. But I think it's got to be exciting for these young kids you're coaching to see these young stars, Colt Emerson at shortstop and Cole Young. I mean, this is the future of this organization. And the future is now right now with these two.
Well, it's actually amazing you say that. We've been to a few games this season, and every time we're there, even when all the action is happening over here, I say, boys, look at those 2 guys right there. Look at how they compose themselves in between pitches, in between innings. I mean, they are true pros. And I keep saying, you young boys, 12, 13 years old, he's only 6 or 7 years older than you are. You know what I mean? And so the talent is just incredible with these 2 guys. I have all the faith in the world that Cole Young and Colt Emerson are going to be stars. Cole Young's the only player on the team who's played every game this season, so they got a lot of faith in him too.
Yeah, I mean, he just continued. And what doesn't get noticed a lot, Jake, is you'll read highlights in the morning, I'll read highlights at night, is you get the home runs, you get the RBI base hits, but we won't always see the defensive plays. It was 2 nights ago. These 2 turned 3 double plays. 3 double plays. That is huge for the pitching staff.
It is. So crisp, too. Those double plays are just beauties. And when you have JP out there, you got Cole Young, Cole Emerson, JP together. It's like the baton handoff. It's just so fun to watch right now.
All right. Speaking of the future, it was announced today, Cade Anderson, Ryan Sloan will rep the Mariners in this year's Futures game. Pretty cool stuff right here.
Yeah, Cade is just rocking it in Double-A, a 6-0 record, 1.3 ERA. His whip, which is basically your ability to let players get on base, it's .66. That's better than elite in the majors. Chris, here's my question, though. Where do you put him? And when he gets from Double-A to the major leagues, kind of a big jump, and you face guys like Yordan Alvarez or Shohei Ohtani, then how's he going to stack up?
Well, I think right now it's all about development, and they are looking awfully good. And it is a problem because you have 6 quality pitchers right now. I will say this. I think there is a chance. There's a chance we see not both of these come up and possibly pitch out of the bullpen in September in the playoffs, because that helps your team win. The ultimate goal for an organization is to win the World Series. Could these 2 help the Mariners win a World Series? I believe they could. When you get into a World Series, when you get into the playoffs, you're only going to use 4 starting pitchers. You're only going to use 4. The rest are heading to the bullpen. So I think there's a chance. I think it's exciting. On the Mariners broadcast last night, Jerry Dipoto talked about Cade Anderson and what his plans may be for the rest of the season.
And we've never seen anything quite like this. The way he's dominating the Texas League right now, and he's doing it in every way. He's got a 1 ERA, and he only gave up runs in roughly 1 inning all year long, which is pretty phenomenal. He's missing bats. He's deceptive. All that said, we always think that the most logical thing to do with our best starting pitcher prospects is continue to develop them in a good pitching environment, which we have down at Dickey Stevens Park in Little Rock. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity to get Cade up here to Tacoma, but like all those others I mentioned before him, I think between Logan and George and Woo and Bryce, they took one start in Tacoma on their way to Seattle. So there's a reasonable chance that he's making his way to the Pacific Northwest at some point. He's just been that dominant. But right now we do have to make sure that there are innings for him to throw here without creating even more disruption than we're experiencing right now.
This is why I love this show. We're able to play the entire soundbite. There's a lot to take from that one. A reasonable chance Cade pitches in the Pacific Northwest this season. Reasonable chance. Also the fact he talked about some of the other pitchers. There's people in Tacoma like, are they going to be here for 3 to 4 games? No. Yeah. They may come up and just pitch 1 game. But he ends it there. Make sure there are innings for him to pitch without creating even more disruption than we're experiencing right now. That is like,
a lot of disruption. How stressed is Jerry Dipoto right now?
It's a good stress, right?
Is it a good stress?
I think to have that much talent, you've got to be like, okay, this is pretty cool.
That's a good problem to have, but you have the sensation that maybe this is happening faster than he had planned. Do you think he wanted to have Cade Anderson a big part of the team this season or even this soon before the All-Star break? I'm skeptical.
Yeah, and in the end, what's it about? It's protecting the arms. So you've got to do what is best for these young arms. You also, like I said, have to do what is best for the organization. And if you get to the playoffs and you're going to tell me that these 2 pitchers aren't better than a couple pitchers in the bullpen, then I don't know. I'm putting them in there.
Yeah, like you mentioned, you only need 4 good starters in the playoffs. And once we get to the playoffs, we're cooking.
And heck, you go to a 2 out of 3 series, you only need 3. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.